Do you know? Have you ever heard a game called Myst?
No.
All right, this game came out probably 1995, and it was mind-blowing because up till then, 95, there was Super Nintendo? Sega Genesis?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So all those graphics were cartoony at best, right? Pixelated like hell. Here comes Myst. It's on CD-ROM. Okay, put it in your CD-ROM, and
Wait, but what's the console?
it was for computers.
Oh, computers.
Yeah. So I had a Macintosh. This is one of the first games for Mac. I don't know if they made it for. I'm sure they made it for PC too, but here's the thing: all of it was pre-rendered. So it was like, here's this island, this mysterious island, but everything was like photorealistic, like they had rendered it on a proper machine, and they just put in the stills. And so you're literally like, okay, I want to walk down this path, and you would mouse over it, and it would turn into, it goes from like a pointer to a hand. Be like, oh, okay, so I can go down here. So you click on that, and it would just cut to the next frame and to the next scene. But it was all, like I said, it was like all rendered. It looked beautiful. And at the time, I mean, even though it wasn't, you weren't really moving per se, you were just sort of clicking through it. It was all first person, but it had the best graphics anyone had ever seen. And it became, I think it was one of the best selling games for like computers for like 3 or 4 years. And anyway, story goes, they came out with the same game on Oculus. The game, like straight up. But now it's in VR, and you can go anywhere. So it's not just the flat renders; it's rendering in
Same
full
company?
free. Yes, same company, dude. Like I don't know
What the heck?
how they did it, but like literally, like the music's the same, the images. I mean, they just straight
Have you tried
up,
it?
dude. This weekend I just played it and beat it. And here's why I'm proud of
Did
that.
you get nostalgia?
It's big time, dude. I was like, it's like when we play these old games. You're
Yeah.
like, I remember how to play some of these levels from like 1995. And but when I played it back then, I never beat it. And so this weekend I was like, I played a little like a week prior, and then this last weekend I was like, dude, I was finally getting in the hang of it, and I was like, I'm gonna beat this game. So I feel accomplished, right? It's like beating Mario Brothers.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, okay, I did it. I
Big
beat the
time.
game that I couldn't as a kid. So I felt definitely accomplished. But it's just crazy how someone had the foresight to bring that game back. What is surprising, though, is that,
I can't believe it's the same company.
dude, so it's this company called Cyan. I don't know too much about it, but, well, and here's what's so sad about it, is for being so successful in the early stages of this thing, they just didn't do anything with it. Like, they came out with a sequel called like Riven or something, and then I don't know what they've been doing, but they didn't become Electronic Arts or any of the big game studios at all. So it's just sort of a weird thing, but definitely has sort of like a cult following, I think, around it. So yeah, very nostalgia.
Crazy.
So
A new DeLorean came out.
dude, yes.
I'm not happy about it.
No, you don't like?
No, it's garbage.
Let me see it.
We'll put
There's some good-
we'll put a picture up.
There's some good stuff in
That's
there.
probably the best angle.
Really?
Yeah, of the whole car. They haven't said how much, but maybe I'm just a purist.
Yeah.
I mean, look at that.
Mm,
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't look like a DeLorean.
no, you know what that looks like? That looks like Fisker.
Yeah, I got Fisker vibes
Uh-huh.
when I saw it. The thing is, people have been mocking this car up, kind of fans,
Mm-hmm.
for years, 10 years. And I feel like fans have made the best versions
Big time.
of like a
Yeah.
2.0,
Right,
and then now, electric.
right.
And they just completely ignored all
Not
of it.
only that, but here's the thing, dude. Think of the DeLorean. Imagine the DeLorean.
And then look at that. Let's just rip Tesla off.
Yeah.
White bucket seats, digital display, I don't know, man.
That's a little, yeah. That's a
I don't
little.
know.
Here's what I don't understand.
I'm not sold.
Here's what I don't understand. Look, think of the DeLorean, right? Like what's about to come out eventually. I don't know when it'll eventually come out, but the Cybertruck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Think of the DeLorean and the Cybertruck. They look like cousins, right? Straight angles,
Big time.
You know. Why didn't they just say, "Hey, look, you know what? Cybertruck's already done this. We know that once that car comes out, it's gonna automotive design is gonna take a turn because everyone's just gonna lose it over that car. So why not get ahead of it and be like,
They're stupid. The people running that company are stupid.
stupid?
They've been for years. They don't know what they have. They don't know what their number one asset is.
They don't.
It's mind-boggling. They think that the number one asset they have is that they're a car company that used to be cool a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
No, you dummies. Like the DeLorean, the 83, the 84. Your asset is the damn car.
Yes.
The original, the OG,
Right.
just the way it is.
Right.
How are you going to turn that into a new car? That car.
That car.
Not
a
car.
Not be like, well, let's come up with a new car.
Yeah. I
No
feel
one
like
wants a DeLorean.
Mustang has
They
done
want
this,
the DeLorean.
right?
What's that?
Didn't Mustang do that? Like, just go far off? Like, was it in the 90s? Everything was rounded and
Yes.
if some people thought they were cool and whatever, new
Yeah.
Mustangs, and then they rolled it back.
Yeah.
They were like, no, we're gonna make it look more like the old
muscle
ones.
car.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just it's kind of frustrating.
It is
I would still
frustrating.
buy the old car, just because for nostalgia, but I don't know who their market is. Who today that's not a fan
Right.
is just, you know what? I'll spend
I love the
$100,000.
old DeLorean,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna buy this one for like 5 times the price.
Yep.
Because I love the old one.
Yeah, that makes no sense. Nobody's gonna do
No one's
that.
gonna do that.
It's so dumb.
They're gonna
man.
take the old one and they're gonna put an electric engine in it and call it a day.
Yeah.
And their own flux capacitor.
They didn't even acknowledge any of that.
Didn't.
No.
How dumb, dude.
Big time.
They should have had, I mean, at least like an Easter egg or something.
Yeah.
Where you can like, you know?
Nothing. and they've been able to survive this last, I don't know, 15, 20 years. I don't know how long they've been in operation. Obviously, the story goes that John DeLorean went to prison, or he got accused of some stuff, and then there's a whole movie about it. You can look
Is
it
there?
up. Yeah. He believed in the company so much he was desperate to keep it alive because he was going bankrupt. So the feds convinced him to do a drug deal to get money infused into the company.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a total setup. And so there's footage of him in a hotel room, and where they're actually showing him, I think it was cocaine. They're actually showing him the drugs. Like, this is what
Click, click.
how you're getting your money, you know? And so the feds arrested him and went to trial, the whole thing. He ended up not getting convicted for that because it was more like they set him up. Entrapment, yes. But then he got busted because they dug into the books, deep into the books, and he had like separate holding companies doing weird things just to keep it alive. So anyways, the government seized the whole company eventually. So I don't know how this stuff works, but some investors, I think, bought the rights to the DeLorean Motor Company several years ago, but under the condition that you couldn't build any new cars. I don't know for how long or what the reason. So what they did is they manufactured old parts and engines. They could basically build the whole car.
Right?
They did that too. But essentially they could build all the parts to build the whole DeLorean, but they couldn't assemble it and sell it. You had to sell it separate, or you had to buy all the parts and have one of their partners build the whole car. So you can technically get a brand new DeLorean, an old school one, but it's just going to cost you so much money, like 50, 60, 70,000 brand new. But they're still awful cars.
Yeah.
because it's all the same specs essentially. But that's all that company's done in the last however long they've had this company. Remake the parts and then do swag like watches that nobody wants, T-shirts, and
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. And now apparently this
Just sell out.
completely sell out. Anyways, it makes me mad. Like
Missed opportunity.
total missed opportunity. What else is in the news? SpaceX, did they do anything in the last?
There was the whole thing with the Starliner. Did you ever hear about this thing? I think it's Boeing. They had a contract to build a new, what did they call it? A crew capsule. So thing people could sit in, you know, because for a long time after the shuttle program was canned, we had no way to get someone in space, an American in space. And so NASA said, hey, Boeing, can you build us a crew capsule that we can at least put on some rocket, either one of yours or someone else's, and take it to space? And they said, okay, great, it'll be like $10 billion or something. Boeing, NASA's like, okay, here's $10 billion. And they, it'll take us like 5 years to do. Swear to God, $20 billion later, and 10 years later, here comes the Starliner. And it's flawed. They take it up. Remember, this was like last year. They flew it up, and it ended up malfunctioning in space. It didn't have anybody in it, but it malfunctioned and started like spinning out of control. They didn't. It was supposed to. I think it was supposed to dock with the space station, and it never did. They just sent it back down. They're like, next, and then they're like, oh, we're gonna fix it, and they came up, and so they're trying to do all this stuff. Meanwhile, here comes SpaceX, like. They made a deal for $4 billion to NASA, so we'll do it for
Undercut
$4 billion.
them.
We'll do it in $4 billion, and we'll do it in like 3 years, and they did. And dude, that thing's been to the space station with astronauts like 5 times already, and Boeing's still dicking around with their thing, and it even malfunctioned this last time. So everyone's like, what is going on over there? Anyway, the space industry is crazy right now.
Big time. It should be all privatized.
Yeah, it definitely tells you something that there's definitely an advantage right now going
100%.
private. Until we have warp drive and stuff like that, it might be a little more expensive.
Yeah.
Might have to make
Cool.
those public, but anyway. And SpaceX was crazy. SpaceX is still a private company. I mean, it's not even public. It's not even publicly listed,
Oh, I know. Yeah.
you know? Like it's a private company still.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Twitter activity around SpaceX where people literally are begging to invest.
Oh, sure. Well,
How
here's what's
can I
crazy.
invest?
They're still giving away.
Please let us invest.
Yeah, I'm sure they're still giving equity to SpaceX people,
Yeah.
employees. So imagine if it finally does, dude, there's gonna be millionaires, like just everywhere.
Big time.
Have you ever been to the SpaceX
No, man,
place?
no.
Dude, it's up in Hawthorne. We should
That
go.
should be our field trip.
We'll go drive by it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just right there, and the Boring Company's right across the street. It's crazy.
That's sick.
And there's a Target like in a Home Depot down the road. You're like, what is this? The future,
cool.
the future of space exploration, and it's next to strip malls. It's amazing.
Sick. All right, so since we didn't do the metaverse, next week we'll do the founder chat from Mars.
For Mars,
How's that?
okay.
Or
I think the best we can probably do is some sort of Horizon land. Dude, I tried
Horizon
again.
land.
I tried it, in preparation for this call.
no,
Dude, it's so jacked up.
it's so bad.
Did you hear? Actually, there was a thing I was reading on the news that someone says that they were assaulted
Come on.
in Horizons. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I'm reading it. I'm like, I mean, you really can't. You don't even have legs, so I don't know how anything's happening. I mean, you
You
just
don't even have legs.
you don't even have like your
You don't-
body's your
you're a
avatar
floating
stops.
torso.
Yeah, you're exactly.
Right?
So I
You don't
mean,
even have hands, bro. It's
no, you don't. You don't have arms. You just have so I don't know what exactly went down, but
It's so dumb.
it feels a little bit like a hit piece because I'm just
Yeah.
like, come on, like nobody knows this well enough so that everyone's like, ooh, see, I told you. It just sort of feels like one of those I told you so
Yeah.
metaverse bad sort of hit pieces. But anyway, I'm a little skeptical about that. I mean, here, I'll see if I can find it because they were even like, they led me into like a room and, you know, I'm like, really? Like,
See, someone got Me Too'd on Horizons.
yeah, something happened. I'm like, and they were like, and it happened right when I got in there, like within like the first 30
Hey, how about
minutes.
this? Here's a solution. Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. And there's a thing in there, like, I mean, you've played it. You just go like this on your wrist, and there's like, the first icon is like a shield, and if you push it, it's like you zap out of there. Like you go into like,
If you feel unsafe.
yeah,
or-
you're like you just zap out and you're in this limbo land, and it's like this is your safe zone.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean. So it's not even like, I don't know, but you
Yeah.
can tell like Facebook's
I don't want to
PR
spend any time on that.
What?
On that story.
Yeah, I know.
It's
Well,
so
it's just
dumb.
crazy because you can tell Meta's PR team is just like trying to get out from
Yeah,
under
yeah.
that without wrecking it.
Uh-huh.
You know, so
Without
that's
saying
like,
something that
that they shouldn't say.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you know they're biting their tongue on that. But
Big time.
anyway, that's it.
That's it. See you later.
Thanks everybody.
How about just
Yeah. I don't.